Are you tired of constantly hitting wrong notes in your solos? There's actually one very simple exercise that makes it virtually impossible to play wrong notes when improvising. So in this video, I'm going to show you what it is and how to practice it so you can nail the chord changes and play solos that sound awesome. Typically, we're taught to apply scales to chords in a progression like this. Each chord shows its corresponding scale, but the way it's written out is a bit problematic. It tends to make beginning improvisers just play the scales up, always starting from the first note or the root. What we want to be able to do is start scales on any of the notes and go in either direction. The other problem with this is that it tends to make us think of each bar as a separate thing, when what we really want to be able to do is connect the various chords seamlessly. The big scale exercise is going to train us to do exactly that, from any note in the chord scale and in any direction. Once you master it over a chord progression, you'll stop hitting wrong notes and your fingers will naturally land on the right ones with little to no thought. I'm going to apply the big scale exercise over the chord progression to Blue Bossa. The way it works is we play one big scale over the whole progression, a steady stream of eighth notes. We go up until we reach the top of our range, where we change direction and head back down until we get to the bottom of our range and change direction again, going back up. All we have to do is make sure the notes we are playing match the scales for each chord. Listen to me play the first 4 bars of the big scale exercise over Blue Bossa. So for alto sax, the first chord is A minor 7. So let's play our A Dorian scale over that. If I start on A and go up, playing steady eighth notes for 2 bars, I'll get up to my high F sharp and then change direction. On beat 1 of bar 3, I need to change my note choices for the next chord, which is D minor 7. So I'm going to play the Dorian scale over this, starting from B and continue down. When I get to low B, which is the lowest note on the saxophone in that scale, I change direction again and go back up. Now I'm going to show you how we apply the big scale exercise to the rest of the chords in Blue Bossa. But real quick, I want you to know that we opened up the Better Sax membership for a free trial, so you can see for yourself what is possible when you get coaching designed for your level and the right guided practice path. Click the link in the description to get started today. Continue like this over the whole chord progression, and it can be very helpful in the beginning to write the notes down as I've done here. Keep in mind that there are multiple scales that can work over a given chord, so we have to choose the scales we want to use before we start. For this example, I'm using the most obvious scale choices for each chord, but the big scale exercise is a great way to practice incorporating different scale choices in your improvising. For example, if you wanted to change things up a bit, you could decide to play B-flat Lydian in bars 11 and 12. Or A melodic minor on all the A minor chords. When we get to the top of the next form in this example, our starting note is E, and we're moving down. So each chorus, the whole exercise changes, and we're getting different starting points for each scale. The idea is to keep going around the form in this way many times until switching seamlessly between scales becomes automatic. Now, when you start practicing this, very quickly you will realize 2 things. Number 1, there is no space to breathe in this exercise. So I deal with that by breathing when I need to, but continuing to move my fingers at the same time, like this. The The second thing you'll realize is that it doesn't sound very musical. In fact, this exercise sounds very mechanical and robotic. Understand that we are not practicing the big scale exercise to prepare ourselves to play a constant, unmusical stream of eighth notes up and down in our solos. We are practicing this to train ourselves to be able to switch between scales seamlessly at any point and moving in any direction. By doing this, we are learning to make the appropriate note adjustments automatically without even thinking. Once you can do this, your brain power is freed up to be more creative, grooving, and musical. Start off with a chord progression that you're familiar with at a comfortable tempo. Once you can easily get through the big scale exercise for several choruses, here are a few ways to use it to seriously level up your playing. Number 1, speed up the tempo. Find out where the speed limit is for you to play the big scale exercise in eighth notes. Pay careful attention to your time feel at all the different tempos. Make sure you keep your fingers, hands, and shoulders relaxed as you practice this. Number 2, switch to triplets. Doing the entire exercise using triplets will do wonders for your rhythmic playing. Number 3, try double time. The big scale exercise is an excellent way to get good at playing faster. Make sure you adjust your articulation when you do double time, as over-articulating can really slow you down when trying to play fast. Now, even though I've used lots of different names for scales in this video, in reality, I'm only using 2 types of scales to play the big scale exercise over all these different chords. So go watch this video next to find out the only 3 scales you really need to play jazz.